League One just started off their playoffs with two absolute banger games, and it was probably the perfect way that it could have started off.
Man, this first game, right?
Yep.
So Austin moved on and beat Salt Lake.
Yep, they beat him in a 5-set insane match. The scores were 24-26, 24-26, 27-25, 25-23, and 18-16 for the fifth set.
Yeah, every set was down to the wire, decided by 2 points. This was like the perfect game to start off the League One Finals.
Yeah, so intense. There was insane moments. The game started to get a little bit heated. Haley Washington was starting to chirp a little bit. Everyone was starting to get super into the game. It was intense.
Yeah, it was really close all the way. I mean, obviously the score showed that, but even throughout, as they were getting closer and closer to maybe 2020, it was still a really tight game the whole way.
Yep. I mean, it just shows every set ended with just the 2-point difference, and only one set didn't go into extra points. Super intense.
This was the matchup that I was unsure about what I thought was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Where, I mean, they're both good teams here and there, but then they've had their struggles throughout the season for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, Austin has gone through like the coaching change, and then they've been slipping for a while now. But this was a huge win for them. I think this is a big confidence builder, and now they play at Atlanta tomorrow.
Yep.
And this is I feel like if you're Austin, you feel pretty good about it, actually.
Yeah, they got so much momentum moving into it, coming off this big win. Only thing could be they could be a little bit tired. That's why a lot of teams wanted to fight for that bye. But they got a ton of momentum, and if they got gas for tomorrow, it's going to be another banger game.
So player of the game, and I thought this was well-deserved, was Molly McCage. She showed up big time in really big moments. She had 20 points. It was, I think, 13 kills and 6 blocks. I mean, It was insane for, I think the other one was probably an ace.
Yeah, it was an ace.
I mean, she had a really amazing game. I think she really showed that she's just as good as a blocker, at least this season, compared to Chaco Boga. She's really put up numbers like that where it makes me feel that confident to kind of say something like that.
I mean, between them, they had 13 blocks total, so it was 6 blocks and 7 blocks, so they're right there with each other.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but I think when you watch the game, you can tell the amount of impact that Molly McCage has.
Yeah, she also swung today on 47.6% efficiency, and she was really the only one on the team who was swinging with like that high efficiency, especially when this was kind of like a defensive slug match. Even we're talking block kills, but there's a lot of block touches going on both sides, so not a lot of kills going on, not the best percentages from anyone except for Molly McCage.
Yeah, and it was interesting to note, Logan Eggleston, I'm not sure when she started. She might have started off in the game, but then they subbed her out for Janeri.
Yeah, I think she had a couple serve-receive errors.
Yeah,
and that's where things started to go wrong.
They subbed her out, and then it was maybe the third or fourth set. Chris McGowan threw her back into the game, and she was honestly a game changer. I thought as soon as she came in, you could tell that the offense was going to be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, she had a crazy swing. I think she hit someone in the face. Or on the shoulder, right?
She hit RJP, right in the shoulder. She was barely able to move her head out of the way.
Oh my God.
It was a laser beam.
Yeah, so Logan Eggleston had a huge game given the circumstances. I think it was huge impact given she went in like the third or fourth set.
Yeah, I think she also had about like 4 blocks of her own, so really living up to that Austin blocking team type thing.
And then I think another one is obviously going to be Maddie Skinner. Didn't have a great efficiency game, but she was definitely putting the ball down. She was scoring points for sure.
Taking a ton of swings, as she should.
Yeah, I mean, she had 21 kills. I think a good amount of errors as well, but 21 kills, that's a lot of points for your team.
And we can just talk a little bit about Salt Lake, because obviously it's disappointing we won't get to see them play anymore. This is the end of their season. Haley Washington, super fun to watch. She was getting super intense. She was definitely the most passionate player in the game. You could really feel her energy.
It was funny. It was funny how much the camera was zooming in on her. Even though they probably should have known that she was going to be cursing 90% of the time.
Haley, we are live.
It was so good, though. I mean, I love to see the intensity. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it just sucked for her because at the end of the game, you could really tell that she was starting to feel something in her knee. She was feeling a little bit more gassed, and she couldn't take them all the way.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully she's okay. You did see her kind of move it around, hoping that maybe it was going to feel a little bit better, but... Yeah. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy, maybe just a banged up injury. So
yeah,
tough for that.
Yeah, she can rest now though. Kojima, another highlight, obviously. Libero of the year. It sucks that her season ends here. I mean, she was super good. She was honestly carrying this defense the best she could. She was the main defender, and it's been amazing seeing her play the entire season, and it just sucks that the story's over now.
Yeah, and it was very interesting with the way that they were doing the lineups for Salt Lake. There were times where they were running the 6-2, sometimes they weren't, and then they were also using 3 outside. Sometimes they had Danny Drews in, other times they had Claire Hoffman in.
Yep.
So it was interesting to see with all the moving parts, but it was a very close game. Obviously, a couple plays here and there, and then Salt Lake would have won this game. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, and it was a real heart racer for me there. I am an Austin fan, and oh my God, I was freaking out.
Yeah. And I mean, and to pull off a reverse sweep, right? And Austin, I feel like that, and I think Molly McCage said it in the post-game interview, but it really shows how locked in they were and the resilience that they had, because they've lost a bunch of other 5-setters this season.
Yeah, they also lost to Salt Lake literally last week.
Yeah, so
less than a week ago.
the fact that they came back after losing 2 straight and then you win in a reverse sweep, it was really cool.
Yep.
Really, really cool to watch.
Yep, and that already started off being an amazing game. But
So-
then we move on to the next game, Omaha versus Madison. I mean, these are some of the most popular players in the league, some of the most popular teams in the league, and I think they delivered, even if it was just a 3-1 in favor of Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, as a Madison fan, it was tough to watch the game, but you have to give props to Omaha. I feel Madison still didn't play a great game. It wasn't very clean, but they still played okay. But Omaha really just, they took this game over. I think if you had no idea and you didn't watch, you wouldn't have known that they've lost 11 of their last 12 games.
Yeah,
When I heard that, I was like, that is insane. I felt like they made a huge turnaround in this 1 week that they were off, ready for the finals, and they looked fresh. They looked energized. They looked ready, and they really were.
This was honestly, it felt like a whole new team compared to what we've been seeing for basically the past 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah.
Because they were playing out of their minds. One, Jordan Larson she was player of the game. She was playing insane. I don't think we've seen this much energy out of her the entire season. She was getting hyped up, especially when she got some major kills. So watching her was insane. She had 14 kills on 30.3% efficiency, and she had 9 digs, and it was just, these stats don't tell the impact that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's gonna pass up dimes. I mean, I think that's a given for everyone. So obviously there was that, and then the offensive punch that she was given was insane. Obviously she's gonna hit smart shots. She was hitting high off the block. She was wiping off the block, and then she hit a couple balls really, really hard.
Yep. This
what
is the
surprised
most
me.
we've ever seen her swing this hard.
Yeah, she might have had 3 or 4 kills that she was wailing at the ball.
And it was tools, also it was off high hands, and then she was putting some down, and it was crazy.
And we were watching the game, and we thought we saw 2 Jordan Larsons on the court. Because Maddie Kubik-Banks, I swear, she had her best game yet of the season.
Yeah, she came alive. It was absolutely disgusting. It really feels like they just had 2 Jordan Larsons out there with just how skilled she was being. This is probably the best defensive game I've ever seen her play, because she was serve receiving super well, and then she was digging a ton of balls in the back row.
Yeah, I think that was really what pushed them over the edge here. I think their defense was really clean for pretty much the whole game, and Maddie Kubik-Banks was a huge part of that. And then on the offensive side of the ball, she was definitely taking big swings. And I swear, she was doing some of the stuff that we've seen Jordan Larson do for the past almost 2 decades, where, again, really smart tools off the block. She was hitting really smart spots, and I mean, she was also playing a really great game.
Yeah, I mean, generally, Omaha as a whole, the insane defense coming out of everyone, actually. Everyone's having a ton of digs, a bunch of highlight digs even. J-Wo had that one insane chicken wing where she was shifting in positions. She had a ton of pancakes.
She was in one. It was weird. It was a scramble play. She was in one. She had the chicken wing dig. It was crazy.
Yeah, everything for Omaha just went super well, but now we can also just talk a little bit about Madison. Their season comes to an end now.
Yeah, I think it was a really nice run that was going on in the second half of the season. It really, they had a huge turnaround, and I think it was kind of funny that like the teams kind of were complete polar opposites of each other. Omaha was really good in the beginning, Madison wasn't. And then at the end of the season, Madison was really good, and then Omaha wasn't. And then Omaha came out and they finished off the season, and they ended up beating Madison here. And for Madison, it is tough to see them lose after having such a good run. But man, if Omaha played like that, yeah, I mean, I could see Omaha winning that game. So
Yeah, I don't even think there's anything to particularly blame because it was just a hard-fought game. I mean, Annie Drew Schumacher, she was still swinging super hard. She was taking a ton of swings as she normally does, and she was getting a lot of kills too, so you can't blame her really. Carlini was doing her best setting. Maybe you could say that some of the sets started to get a little bit off location, but that's just because she was really trying to beat the block.
I mean, I'll be real. I think definitely the struggles were from Sarah Franklin.
Yeah.
I think the passing wasn't there, and the defense was also struggling. And the offense was okay, but I think from Sarah Franklin, you want, the big time kills that she's able to always give, right? I mean, that's why she's one of the best offensive outsides in the league. But it wasn't really her day to day, and when that happens, it's tough when you're playing against a team that it felt like they could do nothing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we see this same Omaha going forward, I'm not sure what teams are really going to be able to beat them because they were playing on another level today.
Yeah, I think they were playing pretty much like that 2-seed Omaha that was looking like going into the League One Classic. I thought that's how good they looked. And to me, honestly, and then this is more back on Omaha again, I think bringing back Lauren Sivrins after injury was a huge shot in the arm, and it made their blocking so much better. And then obviously it helps their offense as well, just because now Drevniak doesn't have to take every swing. You can sub in Gabby Blossom again. You can run your 6-2, and then that slide, like it's been at the beginning of the season, is just unstoppable.
I mean, honestly, she did not play that much, and she still ended up with like 8 kills or something like that.
Yeah, big time impact.
So, insane up from Omaha after all of these weeks, and I think moving forward, this next match against Houston, it's going to be tough. I originally thought that it was going to be a very easy Atlanta-Houston final that we see, but I don't know anymore.
Yeah, given the teams that are left out of the 4, Omaha definitely has a shot. I think they definitely have their shot against Houston. And I think another big-time player that shouldn't go unnoticed is definitely Sammy Francis.
Yes, she's insane.
She had an amazing game. I don't even know what her stats were, but it felt like she had like 10 kills. She had a handful of blocks. She had big-time impact for sure.
Only thing she didn't get to do too much was she missed a couple serves, and then we got Lexi Rodriguez in, so it's okay because the crowd loved it. Yeah,
it was good. It just sucks they weren't able to hold the serve very well, so she wasn't really out there for too long.
Didn't see too much Lexi.
But I think Sammy Francis has been a huge improvement for them after Herrera got injured, and then there were just so many injuries piling on for Omaha. And then you see them bring in Sammy Francis, I'm like, wow, that's a really good pickup, but how is she going to do coming in after she hasn't played since the college season? And she hasn't played against other pros yet. So
this is her debut at pro level, and she's stepped it up for sure. Yeah,
I mean, she looked really good. And I think that might be something that might make it more difficult for Houston. Right? Looking forward into the future to tomorrow, like, I think that could be a point that could really help Omaha, because now that can really help your offense, because I feel like we've been talking about it the whole time. The offense for Omaha has been the problem. But if you have a middle swing that well, that efficient, that can definitely open it up for the pins.
Yeah, and the defense was on fire today, so the middle attacks are going to come because they were able to run the middle so much today because the passing was perfect. Like everything, all the digs even felt like perfect.
Yeah, Maddie Kubik, I think she was definitely the one that was getting picked on in serve receive, but she was diming everything, so if you got her, and then you have Jordan Larson and J-Wo right next to her, I don't know who you're supposed to serve and feel good about it.
Yep.
So that was definitely crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see, but today was the perfect day of volleyball for League One, and hopefully we're going to get something just as good tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so. It was a really good debut of League One Finals. I think this is a great way to kick it off.
Yep, this is what we hope to see, what we've been hoping to see, and let's hope we get it tomorrow.
Early predictions for tomorrow. We got Atlanta versus Austin. That's the first game.
Yeah, I'm still taking Atlanta, even though I really want Austin to win because they play with a lot of heart and they're super fun. But today was still a little bit messy.
Yeah, I don't know if Austin's going to be able to clean it up enough to beat a team like Atlanta, because I think Atlanta has just been...
They've been playing almost perfect.
Yeah, they've been so dominant, and their defense is going to be really, really good. I don't know if Austin's going to be able to do very well against that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll also take Atlanta for that.
Yep.
And game number 2, we got Houston versus Omaha.
Ooh, this is the real big matchup. I mean, honestly, after what I saw today, not only is this just coming from what I want, but like I think this is what I believe now. I think Omaha is going to win.
It's tough. I mean, I'm the one that predicted Houston to win the whole thing.
Yep.
But wow, the way that Omaha played, it does make me think, wow, tomorrow's game is going to be, I think that's going to be the game of the night for sure. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a banger game. But I'm still going to rock with Houston. I think they also have just a really clean game. I think their defense is going to do better than what Madison did tonight. I think that might be able to sway them over.
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely going to be a super good matchup. So let us know what you guys think and who you guys have winning the whole thing now.